The Buccaneers have made another quarterback change, and it very well could be the last one of Jameis Winston's career. Hey guys, what's going on? James here, and like I said, we're going to be taking a deeper look into Jameis Winston's future with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, both in the short term and in the long term. So, I'm sure, as all of you guys know at this point, not only was Jameis Winston benched after the third quarter versus the Cincinnati Bengals, where Ryan Fitzpatrick would come in and score 18 points in the fourth quarter and almost win the game. In that game, Jameis Winston threw 4 interceptions, but now Ryan Fitzpatrick has been named the starter versus the Carolina Panthers. Jameis Winston is going to be sitting on the bench. So, to answer the first question, why isn't Jameis Winston starting versus the Carolina Panthers? Simple. Dirk Koetter needs to win games. This move is all about Dirk Koetter keeping his job. He's going to be riding the hot hand. He's going to go with who gives him the best chance to win. And right now, at the moment, the best quarterback to give him the best chance of winning is Ryan Fitzpatrick. All things considered, it seems like Ryan Fitzpatrick should have been the starter the whole season, even when Jameis Winston returned from suspension. Since Winston has come back, in the 2.5 to 3 games that he's played so far, he has thrown 10 interceptions. That's almost leading the league, and he hasn't even played in the first 3 games of the year. That's not good. Meanwhile, Ryan Fitzpatrick, minus 1 very ho-hum game versus the Pittsburgh Steelers and a not-so-good half versus the Chicago Bears, has looked very good and almost on the same level of quarterbacks such as Drew Brees, Patrick Mahomes, Carson Wentz, among others. He's looked like a top quarterback in this league this season. And because of that, and because of the fact that Dirk Koetter needs to win games this season, Fitzpatrick is the starter. Why does Dirk Koetter need to win games? Well, so he can keep his job. If Dirk Koetter doesn't win, I want to say at least 7 games this season, I think he's going to be fired, and I think he thinks that as well. So he's going to do whatever it takes to win as many games as he possibly can, be it benching the franchise quarterback for a couple of weeks just so this team can win a couple more games. He's going to do that 10 times out of 10. Not only is Dirk Koetter's job at risk, Mark Duffner, Todd Monken, the entire coaching staff, Jason Light, Jameis Winston, Ryan Fitzpatrick, a lot of people's jobs are at stake, and we're getting very dangerously close to canning everybody if this season doesn't go well, and I really don't want that to happen. I'm sure a lot of you guys don't want that to happen as well, so I'm sure a handful of people are on board with Fitzpatrick being the starter for this upcoming game, because at the end of the day, all we want to do as fans is win games, all the coaching staff wants to do is win games, the players want to win games, the front office wants to win games, the owners want to win games, everybody wants to win games, and Fitzpatrick is the best guy for that job right now. However, if Fitzpatrick starts to falter, I'm not sure it's the best idea to keep on swapping in Jameis Winston and Ryan Fitzpatrick and just see what happens. You know, oh, there's going to be a new starter every couple of weeks. No, that's not good. That's a little bit too desperate and almost borderlines on the side of dysfunctionality. The reason for that is because if you keep on swapping in and out, not only are the players going to become a divided locker room, half of the locker room riding with Ryan Fitzpatrick and half of the locker room riding with Jameis Winston, but they're going to start distrusting the coach, because if the quarterback position, arguably the most important position in football, can be rotated so often, what does that mean for the rest of the guys in their starting jobs? It wouldn't be a good look at all. Which brings me to the point of saying I think that Ryan Fitzpatrick is probably going to be the starter for the rest of the season unless he gets injured. The reason I think this is simple. You don't want to divide the locker room. It's already a pretty messy situation as is. We might see a little bit of dysfunctionality leaking in, especially considering that Deshaun Jackson asked for his release before the trade deadline simply because he did not like the situation currently going on with Jameis Winston and preferred Ryan Fitzpatrick as the starting quarterback. So if Deshaun Jackson's actually able to come out and say that to the media, or his agent is, or whoever, imagine what's going on behind the scenes. it's pretty clear that obviously some players are going to support Jameis Winston, some players are going to support Ryan Fitzpatrick, and it doesn't help that Jameis Winston has not been playing good this season, and Ryan Fitzpatrick has been playing amazing, so there might be a little bit of dysfunctionality there already. And that's a scary, scary thing, and you don't want it to continue, so whoever you pick, you need to ride him the rest of the season regardless of what happens. Otherwise, this is just going to turn into a nightmare. The Buccaneers season is going to be lost. Dirk Koetter is going to get fired. Maybe Jason Light would get fired. I honestly think he would stay, but I don't know. And it's just going to be a big old mess, and we don't need that to happen. So in my opinion, Fitzpatrick needs to stay for the short term of the season. Now, talking about the long term, I still think that Jameis Winston has a chance to be the franchise quarterback. He's already has a contract for next season. He will be paid $20 million, and none of that is guaranteed to him, by the way. The only way it would be guaranteed is if he gets injured. So you still have a whole nother year with Jameis Winston. You ride it out with Fitzpatrick this season, and then you see what you have in the future with Jameis Winston. Maybe you sign him to a second contract earlier on in the season, but it should be nice to see what happens when Jameis actually has a whole year, because this year just seems like a wash. He came back from suspension, did not look like the same self. His confidence seems pretty shot, so I think just let him sit back, let him ride the bench, you know, have an off season, you know, keep on building up some momentum, get some more playing time, get some more practice and whatnot, and then come back and be the full-time starter again. I think that's the best case scenario for him long term. The worst part would be if everybody gets fired after the Bucs have a terrible season and then they bring in a whole new regime, because I guarantee you this new regime probably isn't going to want to roll with Jameis Winston, and they're going to want to see what other options they have at the quarterback position. If that happens, I think Jameis Winston's done. It all depends on whether or not this current regime stays at the end of the season. If they do, Jameis should be fine. If they don't, oh, it might not be good at all. So yeah, to wrap things up on a neat little bow, short term, and that means this season, I think they should ride with Ryan Fitzpatrick. Long term, I think still ride with Jameis Winston, but it might not be that way. Honestly, it's a toss-up right now. Who knows what's going to happen? Nobody really knows. It all depends on how this season goes for the long-term future of Jameis Winston. And right now, Ryan Fitzpatrick essentially holds Jameis Winston's future with the team in his hands. So that's kind of weird, but whatever, it is what it is. So let me know what you guys think about all this down in the comment section below. I know a lot of you guys have had this opinion before, and I appreciate that. I tried early on in the season to defend Jameis Winston, and I completely hold up to that. I was wrong this year. At least this year I was wrong for the most part. I still think Jameis Winston has a chance to be the long-term solution, but in the short term, I was dead wrong. Ryan Fitzpatrick was probably the answer. So I'm sorry, I admit to being wrong. A lot of you guys in my comment section and my community were right. That's why I love you guys as a community. But let me know what you guys think about all this down in the comment section below. What do you think is going to happen in the short term with Jameis Winston, and what do you think is going to happen in the long term with Jameis Winston? Do you think the Buccaneers are going to get so desperate this season that Dirk Koetter is going to be keeping on switching in the quarterbacks left and right? Do you think that's going to cause dysfunctionality in the team? Let me know what you think about this entire situation down in the comment section below. Hope you all enjoyed this video, and as always, I will see you in the next video or the next live stream. But until then, and as always, goodbye for now, and go Bucs.